Welcome back, everyone. We're the Saiyan Sit Down, and we're on episode 257 of the Fusion Saga. I'm sure everyone's always talking about the episode where Boo turns Chi-Chi into eggs. So this is the one. Jared, what are your thoughts on that food choice for Chi-Chi?
Good choice. I will say this is also possibly the episode. Maybe I've seen this clip pop up a billion times. There's one where Videl asks Piccolo why Boo knows her father. People see a more deeper meaning in Piccolo doing it. Piccolo kind of says that Mr. Satan is the hero, which is kind of like insane that Piccolo is doing this. But also Piccolo kind of comes from this experience of being on the other side, being the Boo, being this threat, and having someone reach out of kindness, and it's slowly turning them good. So it's kind of cool that Piccolo is the one that gets to like talk to Videl about this and kind of say, "Hey, your father was a hero. He actually would have resolved this with no punches thrown."
I disagree. He tried to kill him many times, many different ways. It was
sure, but he couldn't do it.
Misinterpreted as friendship.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the lesson in all of it. But anyway.
Sure. But
it is funny how when Hercule gets like he's like the pacifist of the series when he's anything.
He's not pacifist. He just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, basically.
But now we got the whole thing where Piccolo takes the whole long way the entire time. Like, follow me.
I do
me.
love that. I think there is something cool about that. There's it's a cool idea, obviously, to translate.
What do you think about this potted plant, Boo?
Yeah.
Come on, look at it. Every second you're here means they can train for another hour.
yeah. But I mean, he does the math, and they get down to how many minutes or how many hours, and all of that. Yeah. Okay. So then we get to episode 258, which is where base form Gotenks basically does all these Pokemon attacks.
Yeah.
Right. He's naming them and attacking.
And but I just want to point out the base form thing, which is cool. Like base form Gotenks, which is pretty powerful. Like at this point, they said that he's gone even more powerful, and the fact that base Gotenks, which should be a pretty powerful power boost, like definitely more powerful than a Goku or Vegeta at Super Saiyan at this point, can't even do damage to him. Once again, no defining reason for this, but he wants it. At least Cell, once again, you could argue because of the DNA. There's a basis to Gero made this thing. And he used Frieza and Saiyan DNA, which both is very prideful. So you can at least understand a little bit. I have no idea why Super Boo wants to fight him.
I think there's something about, remember Babidi wanted to get after Trunks and Goten, but like they kicked him once. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to go to this extreme or something.
But yeah, he's got a bunch of different attacks. He's got this little like energy hula hoop that he puts around Boo, and which actually that attack on like a normal fighter would be very good. I mean, that's a really good attack on most normal fighters because that's going to break their bones and that's going to really hurt them in other ways. But once again, Boo doesn't have the same physiology, so it really can't do as much damage.
Yeah.
Because it just can't be a physical attack. It needs to be an energy-based attack. And then we end the episode with the ghost coming out.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. The super ghost kamikaze attack. The name kind of gives it away. I probably would have renamed it something else.
Sure.
But it's the first one that I think it looks pretty convincing. And it's kind of the next generation of fighting because it's an attack that is different than anything Goku or Vegeta ever did.
I will say that I do enjoy the ghost because it's unique. It is something that we've never seen before, really, and it's kind of cool. And like you don't even know how it even works because they'll explain it, but it's kind of cool that there is a new almost form of fighting. Like it is somewhat energy based, but it has a life to it. It's like an in between of like an energy attack and Cell Junior.
Well, I was going to say, it feels to me more like a Cyberman Cell Jr. situation where it's very confusing to the other person, but it's finally on our side. Like there's never been a good guy who has one of those. So that was kind of cool. So episode 259 is when it actually attacks and Boo hits one and it blows up.
Yep.
So
if you mess with the ghost, you'll be toast. Cheesy 90 or 2000 quotes, whatever they are.
But it works, right? I mean, he gets the closest since Vegeta, probably at actually, killing Boo. And Piccolo has also learned from his previous experience, and he starts blasting the little pieces, right? But the wind, unfortunately, connects.
One of is that they are just like, oh no, we can't win. And Piccolo instantly, without hesitation, blows up the only way out. Like they had if they could have talked for 5 seconds before the battle, they would have known this. But then they are now trapped inside this hyperpark time chamber.
Well, I don't think they wanted. No. Even if they could, the whole thing was they wanted to keep it a secret, right? They want, which is, I get it. It's funny because watching this, I'm like, oh, this is what I do. We're just like, oh, I'm so dumb. How am I ever gonna figure this out? Like, I'm the worst at this Mario Party mini game. Like, they're basically just trying to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Set the expectations, and Piccolo actually thinks they're degenerates, and holds them in there, which is it's kind of a genius cliffhanger. I think, it's been a while since we had a really good cliffhanger. Obviously, I think the Vegeta death one and stuff, but this is what a lot of the Namek saga felt like just these hopeless situations one after another. I think this is a good one of them just being trapped in there together. It's like a Twilight Zone, right, for the end of time.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish I felt more to this saga, but watching, I was just kind of like, this is all waste. Get to the good stuff, which is Gohan versus Boo. That's all I want at this point. Like, I want more of another type of fight. And this, we just know it's not going to go anywhere. So now it's at the point where they're spinning their wheels and the door's gone. But then it's not that like, okay, it's going to be a problem we solve in a couple episodes. It's instantly solved by the villain next episode. That's like kind of.
Well, I don't remember how fast. I thought there was a lot more fighting between Gotenks and Boo before this happened. It's like,
nope, I know, it's insane. That's why it feels like filler. Like, this is like the Fusion saga is like the Garlic Jr. saga. And it's once again Toyama being like, I don't know what to do until Gohan gets here. Just throw crap at the wall.
Up until this point, I think it's really good again. Like up until the Super Saiyan 3 fight is where it loses steam. Like Tournament Saga into the initial boot. But yeah, I agree. Right here, it starts to lose a lot of steam for a good 15 episodes.
It's also insane how we used to get fights sometimes, like the Frieza fight that lasts so many episodes, and here you get fights that last like 10 seconds. And you're like, wow. You can't even pretend.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the stakes could be higher here because it's less about Gotenks like not being strong enough. It's more about the fusion wearing off.
Yeah,
and I feel like that should be the timer that like Piccolo's measuring, and that's when he blows up the door.
Yeah, but
really cool to have a fight in the hyperbolic time chamber. Sure. I think that's the most redeemable thing about this because we don't get to explore that environment. It's always like it's a brief cutaway to someone who's in there. Now we have a full episode taking place there that focuses on that atmosphere. You get to see the sky. They're fighting in the clouds. You see like the endless horizon.
But here's my thing. I thought when Gohan went in there in Trunks, it also reflected the environment was supposed to be hard on them. It feels like it's just a neutral environment, but when Trunks is in there, he says it feels like flames. And also ice cold at the same time. And Gohan also has issues. So it's weird to me that Gotenks Trunks go in here with no issues at all. Like nothing. And same thing with Boo. Okay, they don't, but Boo brings baggage. There should be some negative repercussions from bringing Boo into that time chamber because I think it reacts to the fires that are in there. There should be some hellscapes going on, but whatever. It feels so neutral at the end of the day that once again, it's just not my favorite arc. This is probably one of my least favorites, and it probably is my least favorite in the entire Boo stuff. I rather watch the. I mean, Sandman stuff can get boring, but at least there's some goofiness to it. And of course, the Tournament Saga, I just like that setup. Like, there's no action, or there's only a few action scenes, but I can still watch Vegeta blow up the machine 1,000 times over a lot of the stuff that happens here, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not any of our favorites, but we're getting a little bit closer. I think the Gohan fight is really good.
Yeah, I'm excited about the Gohan fight. I've watched that in years, so I'm excited for that. But all right, guys, let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys hopefully next week.